Hey everybody, um, I'm Adam, and if you're interested in learning how to paint, Bob Ross's channel is on YouTube also, so you can go there. But if you want to stick around and watch me paint a painting, um, then do that. Uh, so we'll get into it. I just want to go over the things I have real quick. So I have a palette, titanium white, cadmium yellow, alizarin crimson, phthalo green, black, midnight black, and phthalo blue. Um, in these amounts, it's a small amount, obviously. I have liquid white, roll of paper towels, which I suggest you have because this shit gets everywhere. Um, I have 2-inch brush, 1-inch brush, uh, two fan brushes. We don't need this one. A 1-inch round dealio, and a palette knife that's very dirty. Oh, and a little script liner brush that's on its last leg. I have two-inch brushes just because it makes it a little easier. One light, one dark. Um, the two fan brushes, one light, one dark, just in case. And these are usually the highlight for the bushes thing. Uh, I have paint thinner in a little bucket thing to wash it. And I had this, it's a 16 by 20 canvas from Hobby Lobby or any craft store. It's a 16 by 20 at Hobby Lobby. You get 5 of them for $12.99, so it's not bad. Uh, oh, and I'm wearing gloves, which I suggest because as you can see, I didn't even start painting yet, and it gets everywhere. So um, those are the basic things I use, and my easel, of course, which I got from Hobby Lobby, uh, and that's it. So we'll start painting now. I might do a video on my channel just for like explaining the tools that I use and where I get them from and how much they cost and maybe some cheaper alternatives or whatever. But I'll get into that later. We're gonna do like a classic painting like I always do, which is like a sky, some trees, a few things on the side. So so I have the I'm gonna get the alizarin crimson um, here, just a little bit light, nothing crazy. I use this little palette just because it's a little easier. My wife got me this ginormous one, which is more like what Bob would use, but sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. Anyway, I just keep it down here on this shelf here like this, and I don't know. I'm just used to working. You do it whatever way you want to do it. I don't, totally your call. So anyway, so I got some red. We're going to do red, sort of like a horizon, and then blue on the outside. So I'm just going to dance it in. X's, just like Bob says, X all over. Just let it, you only need a little bit, and you don't want it too heavy. Use as little paint as possible because you can always add more. You can't take it out. Or at least it's very difficult. Here, so this is your sky. I started maybe this is the 50% line, maybe 55% line. Uh, so you dance it in for your sky. That's good. Then I'm just going to sort of clean the brush off. This will be the water here. We're going to put stuff on the side. Don't worry about that. It'll cover it up. Um, this will be the water here. Now, and then I'm going to go right into my blue, which is the phthalo blue, I think. Um, just get some of that. Get some of that. Here's some blue. Not too much. Don't go crazy. Just enough, for the tip. Just the tip. Whatever. All right. So and then for the dark blue, you want it to be darker in the corners, so it kind of shoves everything in the center. So I just start with the fresh paint. I just do the corners, and then I start doing the X's. Um, by the way, I'm turning my brush sideways, like X's like this. Usually, Bob does it like that, but that's because he uses bigger canvases, like the 18 by 24s. This is 16 by 20, so it's smaller. So do whatever feels good for you, but sideways X. It works basically the same way. Just go straight down to the red, and then we're going to sort of clean off our brush here. Water, just like Bob does, right? Pretty classic. You know, you can leave a little bit of that. If you need a little bit more, just make it. So you want it slightly darker at the bottom and the top than you want it in the middle. So the eye kind of converges in the center. It's kind of like an old art rule or trick or whatever. So like that, good. So if you have two 16-inch brushes, that's good. This I would use for the rest of the painting to do all the dark. If you don't, then you're gonna have to wash it at this point. But I'm gonna switch to my other one, and we're gonna blend. Start with the lightest, which in this case is the red or pink. It looks pink because we have liquid white on there. Just go crazy. Just start blending. X shapes again. Just blend until your wrist starts to get a little tweaked like mine does. Right? Just smoothing this out. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Let me bring this a little closer so you can see. So I'm recording this on my phone, so this is as good as it gets. And then you start to move into where the blue and the pink connect. That's okay. Just do that. Just keep going X, X, X. Start in the middle and work your way up, because at the top is where it's darkest. So you're going to pick up a lot of excess paint on the. Don't do the dark spots and then go in here, because you're going to get. I don't know if you can see that, but you're going to get blue in your pink. So, which we don't want just yet, but eventually we will. And then just come here and this is the easy part. Just go back and forth, back and forth. If you need to knock off excess paint, just do it like Bob does and whack it against something. There. My wrist really starts to hurt at this point because I used to do martial arts. Just just go over it here. Knock off the paint as needed. See, I got blue in there so you could see it because I didn't knock off enough paint, but that's okay. Just keep blending. Just keep blending. Knock off excess here. If you need, you could blend X's like this because it covers more ground. If you need a little more oomph to like really blend it, turn it sideways. Seems to work a little better. Anywho, don't worry, we'll cover up this blue. See, it kind of just blends out anyway. You can just blend it out. That's fine. Yeah, it kind of just went away. Sweet. Okay, good. Done. Done sky. I got some titanium white here. I guess we could do a cloud. I don't do clouds sometimes, but what the heck? I think people would be a little upset if I didn't do clouds. So I just get I get just a tiny bit of the liquid white and go into the titanium white, right, like that. And then this is how I do my clouds. Just did a video, so I kind of here just dance them in, whatever feels good, Here, I don't care, right? Looks like a mess, but we're gonna clean up. This is how I do them. This is not exactly how Bob does them, but it's how I do them. So then there's like, you'll see there's big blotches of paint. I just zip those off real quick. Just scrape it because you don't want to blend it when there's big gobs of paint there, because then it'll smear it and it'll look terrible. They won't look light and fluffy or whatever. So you zip off the painting and just go on the bottom of the clouds. Hopefully you can see that here. Bottom, this little guy. All right, so you blend the bottom out so the top See if you can see. Good. And then, so you blend the bottom out, and then knock off, make sure to knock off as much paint as possible. And then to finish the blending, we're gonna like kind of swoop up here, here, light, super light, super light. Here, just all the white areas, and then go across, super light, super light. You know, super light. Okay, done. Beautiful. All right, now we're gonna get that dark brush that was dirty before, and we're gonna go into just a tiny bit of the blue, tiny bit of the I think it's phthalo blue, I forget. So we want this super light because this is going to be uh, like hills or land part, that land that's in the very far background, like against the horizon. And if you ever notice on the horizon, like if you look way far away by the horizon, you'll notice that the trees or the hills or whatever you're seeing is kind of bluish because the skies reflect on. So I get just a little bit, just tap it, and then test where you're at to see how much you have. See, that's a lot. But don't worry, if you get too much, we can always make it disappear. So just start going in there. See that even that's kind of dark. But don't worry, we can always get rid of that. And we want to go in the center. Go in the center, right? So that's it. We just made it. Take our, this is the one with the least amount of paint on it. So we're gonna blend, tap, a lot of tapping in this thing, right? Tapping. Just, you're gonna get, it's gonna look like a mess down here a little bit, but that's okay. In just a second, we're gonna blend it. That's why we do the liquid white, the white on, or the wet on wet, because it blends a lot easier. If this were regular oil paint, it would be like, you know, blending concrete or something. Knock a little bit off. You can lift up. Just lift up the little fuzz. It's going to look like fuzz, and then just diffuse it out. Just blend it into the background. And that's going to be like a mist or something that kind of gives you some separation. Now, let's do another one just to show you the effect. So back into the blue. Now this next layer we want to be a little bit darker. Just slightly though, not too much, because then it'll kind of ruin the effect. We're creating depth. So when things are closer to the horizon, they're super light. As they get closer to you, they get darker. Or more rich, if you know what I mean. So, let me change this camera angle. I'm sure you're all wanting to see my lovely face as I explain stuff. So anyway, so just again, just test it a little bit. That's fine. This is the last blue layer we're going to do. Now, don't start like down there. If you can see that, don't start all the way down there. That's going to look a little strange. Start higher than you think you should. Like right along there, like right along the, you know, just when it starts to get a little bit light. Actually, we can make that a little darker. There we go. Start right below it. Hopefully you can see that on the camera, right? Just that. There you go. Another layer. Same thing. You're gonna get good at this tapping shit because we're gonna do it quite a bit. Excuse me. Tap. Like I said, I'm not editing this video because this is on my phone. So we take the blending brush again, and we sort of lift, fluff it, and then diffuse it by blending it out. There. Okay? Sweet, dude. All right, now, see if you can see that. So, see how this front layer is just right below this back layer, but it's a little bit darker. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Now, all right, we're going to take, we're going to, this is pretty easy style, right? We're going to take the phthalo green, the black, the blue, and the remaining red, and we're just going to mix it together. Take the whole deal. All right, so I mixed up the paint. I didn't think you wanted to watch that. So anyway, it looks kind of basically black, greenish black. You just you just sort of mash it together, pick it up, flip it, mash it, flip it, mash it. But that's all the colors: the red, the green, the black, the whatever. All right. So now we've done the background. Now we're going to get into starting to the foreground. So I'm going to take the fan brush. This is a number 6 fan brush, but it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to get a good amount of paint on here. Good. Both heavy, thick amounts of paint on both sides. Okay. And then we're going to start, we're going to start like somewhere in the middle. Bring this a little closer so you can see a little better. So like right about at the base of this um, second row of background stuff. So you can still kind of pick it up, but we're covering it with the foreground. Now you're going to need a lot of paint on this. Even if you're having trouble having it stick, you can add a slight tiny amount of paint thinner. Don't do too much because then it'll be a mess. But just and the trees that are in the center here should be the darkest, and they kind of fade off. But take your time with this, and you don't want too many gaps because this is far away, and it's going to be a heavily dense area of trees, right? So you get the idea. All right, so I just sort of filled in. Take your time and just fill it in like that. It should look something like that, approximately. So we have that. So now I'm going to take this same. It's a little dirty, but the blending brush that we use for the clouds and everything else. Basically, you're going to see this bottom part is going to be the reflection. So the shape of the fan brush is kind of like an eye like this, and we're just going to take the bottom part and just press and pull it down. Just pull it down. Pull it down. It ain't going to look 100% great. You're going to be like, oh my God, this is so messed up. Right? Pull it down. Knock off paint if necessary. Lightly go across. Lightly go across. Okay? Go across. Now, what I like to do, you don't have to do this, but I like to do this. I like to take the palette knife and I like to take a little bit of paint. I just put it off to the side just to reserve it. And then I get a little bit of little roll of paint there. And then I just sort of, if you have any white space, I just sort of make like a line for the land. Like there's land here, right, uh, right at the base of the trees. Just super light. Don't go crazy. Right, light. And then also, which is why I have the liquid white. Just somewhere else, I take maybe just a touch of the liquid white and just sort of mix it together with that same dark color, just to make it a little bit white. And then you don't even have to mix it, and just scrape through it. Another little roll, and then I give that a highlight, super light, because this is pretty far in the background. It'd be like looking across a lake. Here, good. That's it, done. Then for the final part for this section, everything's done in sections. We're going to take a little bit of liquid white, like this much, it doesn't matter. Here, like sort of, just like Bob does, pull it out flat, and then cut across. And then we're going to add, this is the ripple or whatever. It kind of cleans up the edge. Just scrape it in there. This takes a little bit of practice, but you should be able to get it the first try. If you need a little more, there's another method of doing that where I scrape down and I get on the bottom, but that's a little harder. So here, right, if you can see it, scrape it in. Let me move you a little closer. Okay, so just scrape it in. If it's too bright and white, just scrape through it a little bit. It's really just to diffuse the uh, line between the ground and the water. And then do one final one. Just same method, flat and scrape across, and then just give one random line like that. Oh, see, not bad. All right, so that section's pretty much done. Okay, now these side things here, we're going to take care of those next. These are pretty easy as well. So I just take that same dark color. This is basically dark on dark underneath and then highlights on top. So we're going to take that same dark color. We're going to take this dirty brush, if you have it. If not, just you got to wash your brush again. Let me fix this. Okay, and just so we're going to do like Bob does, where pull the paint in one direction. Trust me, I've tried other methods. Bob's original method works best. So pull in one direction. Get a lot of paint, See how the bristle is kind of like glued together. Pick your side. This is up to you, it's personal. But I'm going to start on the left and just start push, tapping. A lot of paint here. Just go right over the edge, right? So it kind of cleans up and covers up this edge here of the pine trees in the background. Here, just spread it out. Here, go down. Gonna have just a little bit of land here, a little bit of grass. We won't go too crazy on the first one. So, and then just by the time you get to this bottom, your brush should be kind of running out of paint. So just give just a little indication, a little light indication of this reflecting in the water, and that's it. That's the first one. Let me just clean this up. There's a little bit of liquid white here. That's it. Let's see. Oh, I got an idea. All right, let's take. I do this sometimes. This reserved dark color. Take that again. Give your little roll of paint there. Hopefully you can see. And just give a little bit of like land, like a little bit of dirt here that will lead into the water just a little bit. So it's kind of like a this motion here, like that. Okay. Here. You might not be able to see it on. Maybe you can see it on camera. And then, so then we want to highlight it. Now this highlight needs to be a little bit darker, or sorry, a little bit brighter than this background here, because obviously we're closer now. So this is like almost, get a little white in there, it doesn't matter. So this is almost like bright white. Almost, not quite. You'll see. So then we add the highlight here. Start in the front where the most light would be, and then just work your way back. There, good, done. Sweet. All right, that's it, bro. Now let's take and we'll scrape in. You could put a tree trunk in here, but sometimes it's easier to just scrape your tree shape in there. Here, just give yourself just some indications of tree. Hopefully you can see that. Maybe you can't. It's hard to see. There's little scrapes in there. Hopefully you can see that. But sometimes that's like an easy way rather than mixing up paint and trying to create a stem or whatever the frig. So, all right, now it's time for the highlights. Now it's time for the fun. What I'm going to do is, so I have my dark here. I'm going to take just a touch of that, just a little bit, because I don't want straight up bright yellow. in there. I want it to be a little bit green, and you'll see it kind of turns it, because this is like black and green and stuff and blue, and you know, blue and yellow make green, right? So here, so we're here. Don't get too much. Don't go crazy. Okay, and we're just gonna come to the top, slightly above where you started the dark, just slightly above. Just start tapping. Just tap. Same way you made the dark color underneath, just start tapping. You know, and just go until you run out. It'll fade, fade less and less, less and less, and then go back and get some more. Reload. If you're having a hard time making it stick, I know sometimes Bob says to add liquid white, and that's kind of what it's for. But I found that using the paint thinner uh, works best. Just for me personally, I mean, try both, but for me, the paint thinner works, and it doesn't make it too bright. But in this case, it's kind of working without it. So you know, we're thinking about the shape. So this is the tree. Then we're going to start another bush here. Here, you know, this is the point where you can kind of do your own thing. Here, get some more. Let's see. Here, I added a little bit of paint thinner just cause. Now, when you're doing some of the bushes, right, you kind of are doing them right. And if you start running out of paint on your brush, go down to the reflection and just add it to the reflection. Just sort of tap it in there, okay? Because you don't want to put like straight up bright paint there at the bottom. It'll be too much. And we're going to take that blending brush that we've been using the whole time, and we're just going to, just like back here, we're going to pull down just lightly on this one, especially because you get the highlights, right? Tap or whatever, and just lightly go across, lightly, because you don't want to smear it. Lightly. Plus, the lighter you go, the more it'll look like a reflection, like glass. See? Okay, and just a few extra little tappies here. Good. All right, now we're ready for our water line. So that same liquid white, thin, go across, get a little bit, and just cut it in here. Just go in there. Don't be afraid. Just rub it in there. In fact, the more you rub it, uh, the better it is. But the only thing I say is stay in a straight line. Don't go all over the place. Stay in a straight line. So one last little one, and so you get one across, and it kind of makes it, just adds that little accent that makes it look more like a reflection. Let's see. I'm gonna go here. This might be a little easier. So, oh, this is hard to paint this way. I've never done that. All right, I'm gonna go back. Again, I'm editing my own videos on my stupid phone, so unfortunately, this is what you're gonna have to deal with. All right, so now we're gonna do the other side. Uh, you know what? Let's keep it simple for this first one. Just the techniques that are the techniques that are in this video are very basic, but you use them a lot over and over again, and you can use them to create different things. Like for example, if you wanted to do snow, like a winter thing, you would do the same dark underneath for the trees and stuff, but you would use white on top for the snow, right? And then here you would use the same white. So we're just going to sort of create a similar thing to the other side, uh, which should look pretty normal. So again, dark paint, do the same, pull in one direction. If the paint on your palette gets a little too like flat and you can't pick up enough, what I do is I just scrape with the knife, sort of pick it up, and then lay it back down in a pile so you can kind of pick it up a little bit better with your knife. All right, and just we just want dark. So same thing again. See how it's like sort of glued together. And we're going to do something a little similar. I mean, let's see. Yeah, let's do it similar. Like, yeah, what the heck, right? Maybe a little bigger up here, whatever. Here, no big deal. Load it up. You might need to reload. There's going to be no reflection on this one. This one comes straight to the forefront of the canvas, right? A lot of paint, a lot of paint. We're covering up our water that we worked so hard for, but that's okay. Uh, you know, this you could just freaking, who cares? Just get it on there. It's dark, doesn't matter. Okay. If you can't pick up enough paint, just scrape it with the knife and then just put it back into a pile. Here, again, we're doing this with the knife. Hopefully you can see that, right? And then you got here, maybe a little bush here, whatever. Here. Okay, there we go. Now we could do the same thing, yeah, because we're kind of running out of dark here. So like I only got this little bit of dark. You don't need as much paint as you think, right? Look, if you really want to create a tree, like a tree trunk, just get some paint, just tap here, just random, because most of this is going to be covered up anyway. But a little bit will shine through there, right? A little bit, just random straight lines. You could be real casual. Now, if you wanted to put like a little highlight on there, fine. Just not even going to show really, but I got a lot of white left, so might as well use it. Little bit high. Do this super light. Don't go crazy with these highlights because it's going to be hidden. Um, and I kind of forgot to mention this. In this particular painting, the light source, which is important. Typically, my light sources come from the center, right? That's why the sunset is here in this area, just behind the back part. So that the light source is coming from the center like this. Sometimes the light source can be coming like this, and that's fine. Um, but in this case, it's coming from the center. Now, if you wanted to put the pink off to this side, then it would be coming this way. But in this case, we did it that way. All right, so we got our dark. Just come in here, give a few scrapes, a few twigs, right? So I don't know if you can see, see the tree limbs or whatever. You can kind of see it, but not 100%. All right, now we're gonna go back to our yellow, greenish yellow, whatever. This is really liquidy today. Sometimes if it gets too like clumpy, just tap it. You get to, you don't want too much on the brush because then it'll look a little gobby. If it's too light, just get some dark, mix it up. You'll figure it out the more of these you do. And again, just hopefully you can see. Yeah, you should be able to see. So again, just start right above. Tap, tap, tap. Tap. This takes a little bit of practice, so you're not gobbing it too much or whatever. A little bit of practice. Hopefully you can see. My lighting is not great here. Let me get a little paint thinner, and that makes the paint just a little bit more bright, easier to work with. Yellow. Yeah, this is kind of the way I do it, just to load up the brush. And each time you reload, start somewhere new. Don't start right in the same spot. Start somewhere new, like right here. And this is a whole new bush here, whatever. Like the tree is up here. This is the new bush on the ground, whatever, overgrown, whatever. And see, I basically just covered up the stem anyway. When you're out in the wilderness like this, things just have a tendency to sort of overgrow. Hopefully you guys can see. There you go. Don't get crazy with the paint thinner, but if you need more, add a little bit. Don't go crazy, okay? Then it'll be too watery. But just use it up, load it up, and then we have this other section here. We're gonna bush it. We're gonna create a bush. Bada bing, bada boom, like that. Touch just a touch more, because as you add more paint, it gets a little thicker. So then you got to thin it out with the paint thinner. And then our third little bush here, whatever, just start tapping here. Just go down until you start running, until it starts fading and mixing with the darker color. And then this should be the last little one here, which is good because we're just about out of paint. I used to, when I first started in the beginning, I used to like put like a cup and a half of paint on the thing, and I'd waste it absolutely. Uh, but you don't need as much as you think, especially for these 16 by 20s. Now, if you're doing like a 20 by 24, sure, you're going to need more, but use a little bit. You can always add more. You can't take it away. All right, so just pick a spot. You want these dark areas as well. Just pick a spot and start dropping them in. Whatever. Here. And that's it. We're done. Uh, Literally, that's it. We're done. Usually, where's my script liner brush? I usually completely forget to sign my name, but since you guys are here and I have this liquid white, or sorry, the titanium white, you get a lot of paint thinner in this case. Just sort of mix it like ink, like Bob says, and then you can do it here. Okay, and I appreciate you guys watching. If you watched, if you don't mind, like the video or subscribe. And I'm gonna try to do more of these. Um, and if I could do them better or whatever, or if they suck and you don't like them, let me know. But I'm gonna try to do more of these, like where I show you basic paintings like this, where you have the basic techniques, and then hopefully that works for you. I'm gonna clean the brushes and stuff, and then I'll move the camera so you can have a closer look at the painting while I'm cleaning up. There we go. That's good. Oh, come on. All right, I'm just about done. Bye.